My role principally is to listen to the needs of the people I represent, to be among them, to be with them, to hear them, hear them say, this road isn't working for us. We can't get our goods to market, or we can't bring people in for travel, for tourism. I was born in the Depression. Grew up in a family that knew the hardships of depression. My father worked 3 days a week and had to walk 3 miles to the Godfrey underground mine. My mother worked 4 days a week, probably at J.C. Penney, as a clerk, because she could speak Italian and talk to the immigrant ladies. I saw them scrimp and save and get by. I grew up when we got one pair of shoes to start school with and saved the other ones, even though our feet had outgrown them. And we put cardboard pieces inside the shoe because we'd worn a hole in the bottom of that shoe. I saw what it meant when the miners had to go out on strike for better pay, benefits. They went on strike for health insurance, for retirement pay by the company. I saw that fragile line between job and maybe bankruptcy. It was ever present. Even after the contract had been signed, men went back to work, there was still the concern that maybe things aren't going to work out. And everybody eventually knew that the direct shipping ore would be mined out. And then what? What happens to us? What happens to our family? But along with that was a fundamental belief by those who had emigrated to this country that if they worked hard and saved and raised their children right, those children have a better opportunity in life for them. And that would mean a better job and better opportunity in life, a better home and greater opportunity for the grandchildren. And so this idea of harnessing resources and doing your best to make a better life for those around you is something that was ingrained in me growing up.
What is it like for you now when you run into somebody like a Joyce Fisk who got a job because of something you did?
I'll never forget that moment. I went out to see the effects of our stimulus program, Knife River Construction, on a project rebuilding Interstate 35 between North Branch and Rush City, 28 lane miles of highway. And went out to the job site, and the foreman called one of the big construction trucks over. Driver shut off the engine, jumped down from the cab, saw me, and said, "Jim Oberstar, thank you for my job." Threw her arms around me, gave me a big hug. And then with a big smile, she said, "If now I get my 600 hours in and Gene gets his time in, we get our health insurance reinstated. We're paying the mortgage. We're paying taxes. And Austin is going to summer camp." That's a life restored. That is a hold on the future. That is hope rebuilt for people. That is a person come alive. And to me, that was worth every effort we put into that stimulus. Because there are Joyce Fisks, 1,300,000 of them all across America.
It all started when my now late wife Jo was recovering from breast cancer surgery and chemotherapy, and a doctor friend of ours recommended bicycles to help her recover. So we got bikes for the two of us and our two older children, and we pedaled for maybe a summer or 2 summers, and then the chemotherapy, the radiation, the mastectomy, the hormone therapy all took its toll, and she really had to give up bicycling. But I kept on sporadically until she passed away. Actually, this time July 31st in 1991. And in the days afterward, I was feeling kind of run down and out of sorts, and I looked up in the garage and there was our bike hanging on a spike, and I took it down and went out for a 5-mile ride, and I felt better. I did 10 miles the next day, 15, and by the end of the year I'd done 500 miles. And I thought, well, this is good, but now we have to do something as a memorial. Joe had always said, I want something good to come of this disease. It's going to take my life, but I want something good to come of it. And in the iced-tea legislation of 1991, I included access to the surface transportation program for bicycling facilities. And then in 2000, I heard a lecture by the Centers for Disease Control on the 5-year longitudinal study on childhood obesity, which was astonishing to me, that type 2 diabetes had doubled in 5 years, that 75% of children 15 and under do not walk or bike. They are driven to and from activities, that we have an epidemic among children. And that gave me the inspiration to create the Safe Routes to School initiative, which is now in its 4th year. $500 million has been invested in school districts, elementary schools across the country. 6,300 school districts are participating. We're changing the habits of an entire generation of young people. And that is probably the best thing that one could do in a career in public service. The parade in a small town is one of the great American traditions. There are, of course, the high school bands that are trained and are smartly attired and perform to the great delight of the hometown and the visitors who come from out of town. There are the Shriners who work meticulously to do their routines and raise a great deal of money for good causes, for Children's Hospital and so on. There are all sorts of causes represented in the parades. There is also the homegrown quality of the parade. So the parade just reflects the spectrum of the American landscape in the small town. Great job.
You got a big weekend ahead of you.
We got six, including tonight. Yeah. 2 tonight.
Hey, you got to do them.
Oh, well, I do, but you know, it's wonderful to see. You get people from all around the countryside, and you couldn't get that many people together at any event, you know, except 4th of July.
That's right. That's right.
Have a great 4th. All right, good to see you. All right. Hey, Jackie. All right. Take care of that guy. Take care of that guy next to you, will you? T-Bone.
We just got to win an election.
That's all it takes. But I got lots of fire truck money. I got lots of other stuff, funds. But that one we couldn't spring it loose.
Would you like a sticker?
Oh, how are you? Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
July 21st.
How come you're not in the back of the truck?
Because I walk.
Oh.
And Rukavina's got a bad knee.
Yeah. Separates the men from the boys, huh?
Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. Let those blue eyes. You cannot serve people without being among them. You cannot serve people without listening to them, without hearing their concerns, without them feeling the freedom to say what they think.
For the letter, I don't agree with you. But
That's okay.
We got our new truck through that FEMA grant.
Oh, excellent.
And I want you to take a look at it, just so you know what all that money is being spent. Right up here.
All right, got to see.
I mean, you know that our local contribution is less than $20,000. We got a $130,000 truck out of the deal, you know.
So it is a sounding board. It is an expression point. It is like talk radio, except it's live talk. And I go back to Washington validated, infused, occasionally chastised. Maybe I didn't do the right thing here or there.
Happy 4th.
But I feel
good to see you,
reborn,
folks.
regenerated, and reinvigorated for the work ahead.
All right, good to see you. All right. Have a great 4th. All right, good to see you. All right, good to see you, folks.